Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen, this is a special edition in studio guest, and I have my man, Combat Night MMA champion, flyweight champion, 125 pounds, the one and only Jacob the Torpedo Toledo. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, homie? It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming to my house, man, and doing this. I've been wanting to talk to you on a one-on-one for a long, long time. We've known each other for a few years now. We're training partners.
About 2 years, I'd say, right?
Yeah, 2 years. And
Time flies.
yeah, man. So how do you feel, man? You're Combat Night Flyweight champ.
I feel real good right now, man. I've been, when I'm training, I'm trying to be as good as I can about my diet, but I've been enjoying a lot of nice, tasty treats the last week and a half.
And that's you deserve that, man. You had a great 3-round fight, versus a very game opponent and Eric Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
And you could afford to have fun and celebrate, man. So you just graduated UCF?
Yes, sir.
So what are you majoring in?
My major was in secondary English education for basically to teach from 12th grade to kindergarten.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and a little bit of specialization in there too. So
What made you get into that route? Like, what made you say, okay, this is what I want to focus. This is what I want to major in.
oh man, that's like one of those things. I feel it always slightly changes whenever someone asks me.
Okay, that's fine.
It started out, so my very first person I consider my very first coach was Coach Foley. He was my teacher as well. So he was a good coach, but he knew how to push you. Like, he didn't tolerate if you were, oh, coach, I'm hurting today, I can't practice. He wouldn't tolerate it. He expected you, if you wanted to be the best, he wanted you to work really hard, right?
Yeah.
So, as a coach, he was good to me. As a teacher, he was one of the few ones who I feel could actually tell you what it is, the information that he wanted to give you.
Yeah.
And he did it in a positive way. And I was like, man, there's not many other teachers who I feel are like that. Like, if I was a teacher, I feel like I would relate more to what they need to know. It's hard to explain. It could go all deep into
Yeah,
that.
no, and I totally feel you. So when I was in high school, I wasn't, my wife, on the other hand, was a straight A student.
Yeah.
I wasn't that. I just did enough to graduate high school. But there was 2 teachers. His name is Mr. Mouche and Miss Letters. Mrs. Letters now. She's
Mrs.
married.
Letters.
She's a good friend of mine. And those 2 teachers made me focus more in school. And they gave me like motivation and drive. Like, I'm the only one that graduated from my family. Like, I'm the only one
Wow.
to walk. Did the ceremony with the hat in high school. So, it was a big deal. So I understand to have that one teacher or 2 teachers that make you focus and say, hey man, this is a great motivation for me. And when I got my diploma, I gave it to my mom. And I said, hey, this is you said I wasn't gonna be anything, so here, this is for you. No, straight up. I'm just
Yeah.
being honest, But so tell me what wrestling means to you, bro.
Well, wrestling honestly shaped who I was as a person, and it's weird saying that because I feel like you should kind of always have a grasp of who you are, but wrestling really did shape my character and made me like the person where no matter what, you gotta just keep pushing through it. Like, life is gonna suck no matter what. I feel like the lessons I learned from wrestling apply to everything. Obviously MMA, but you might lose your job, you might lose something that's important to you, and you just got to keep pushing through. And lots of people know that already.
That's awesome, man. What introduced you to wrestling?
Well, actually,
Or who?
it started out with I was always kind of a little scrappy kid, but I always looked at it from like, I like to just spar around and play with my friends and stuff, and they were just always bigger than me, but I would try my best. And then just one day, my skinniest friend, his name was Greg. He's a good friend. But he was able to start taking down these big, huge guys in our friend group, like just out of nowhere. I had no clue how he was doing it. He was like, he's a beanpole, man. And he just told me that he was watching videos on the internet and that some of his friends were showing him some moves. And he had joined his wrestling team at Deltona.
Okay.
So I wound up moving to Lake Mary right around that time, and I decided, hey, I'm gonna give this a shot because I want to know what he knows. You know, he's beating me up with it. He's beating my other friends up with it. I
Yeah.
want to know how to properly wrestle. It seemed important to me.
So you were in high school or middle school?
High school. I didn't start till I was a sophomore. Actually,
Oh, wow.
I was almost 16.
Wow, really?
I got a late start.
Man, I remember when I was a freshman in high school, I had to pick an elective, and so weightlifting was the only elective that was open.
Yeah.
And then he was a little guy. He looked at me. He goes, "Hey, step on the scale." I step on the scale. I'm like 99, 100 pounds in high school, right? I'm a little guy.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You want to wrestle?" And then my mind at that time was different. I was at a different, I was just in a different place.
Mm-hmm.
Which I turned back and I'm like, damn, I wish I would have joined wrestling. It was
Everybody says that, man.
And he goes, you should join wrestling. I think I'll make you state champ. And I'm like, man, nah, that ain't for me, man. I thought I was a gangster and all that. I'm like, nah, man, that ain't for me. But I remember going to school early and I see the wrestling team running. It's like 6:30 in the morning, right? 7 in the morning. And I'm like, damn, what the hell these guys are doing, bro? Like, I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were running, man, and running up the stairs in the stadium and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, these guys are off the hook, man. And, I love it, man. Wrestling is one of the hardest sports, I believe. Every sport is difficult, boxing, especially in combat sports.
Oh, yeah.
But wrestling is just like the pace is like nonstop. And that's your fighting style. You're nonstop. You come forward. But I feel like a lot of wrestlers are that way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when did you meet Christian? Christian Lohsen, by the way, Dave Lohsen, Melissa Lohsen. Dave Lohsen is our head instructor when it comes to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
Who's a phenomenal man. The guy loves teaching and he loves Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
He loves the grapple.
And I always say everywhere I go, two of the greatest instructors I know is Dave Lohsen and one of my best friends, Elwa Acevedo. They just love it so much, and their instruction is so easy. So, how did you meet Christian, and then tell me how you came over to Dark Wolf and met David and Melissa?
Well, that's kind of funny. It's weird how life turns out, like how people you meet, they'll come back later in your life. But I knew him from wrestling. I went to a DeLand meet one day,
Okay.
my sophomore year. And I believe this is how little he was. He was like 126 or 132 pounds at the time.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was he looked kind of like a scarecrow, was honestly the best way I could describe it. His hair was really long and covered his face.
Yeah.
And I just thought for sure that our guy, he was really jacked and strong. I thought for sure our guy was gonna pin him, or at least win the match. And next thing I know, the kid's on his back and Christian's got him in some crazy cradle. And the match was over in like 30 seconds. I was like, whoa. And my coach at the time, he didn't understand it. It was such a funky style of wrestling that isn't traditional, but works for him.
Yeah.
And just over the years, I'd always see him beat all our kids and beat all the other kids. He was like a multiple time district champ and state placer. I'd see him throughout that journey as I would make it to the regionals and the state tournament. And we both placed our senior years because we were the same age. And so we always just kind of knew about each other. And once I found out he and his family had opened up a gym, I didn't get to come down right away. But over time, I was able to build up some money, get a better car. And,
Yeah.
I guess the rest is kind of history with that. I just love it.
Man.
Stick around.
And this is my introduction to Dark Wolf, right? Christian, I'm at Combat Night, and Christian is fighting Manny Ramirez.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know anything. I've never seen Christian before, right? Like, I've never seen or anything like that. I know Manny. Manny's a good friend of mine as well. And then I'm like, all right, cool. This tall, lanky guy, right? And it seems like he has his parents in the corner, right? And then, like, I see him just go out there and pull out this funky grappling, and I'm like, what?
What is going on? Yeah.
And then he won, and I forgot how he finished the fight. But I'm like, holy shit, who the fuck are those guys? And I told Melissa and David this. They probably forget, but I tell them, I'm like, yo, who the fuck are those guys, man? Holy shit. And then I looked it up, and they're a gym in Orange City at the time. Now they're in DeBerry. And then, you know, my life was changing financially, and I got a great opportunity working where I work now. And I was like, okay, I got to move. So I lived in Sanford for a little bit. And I was looking for a gym. There was a gym there, and I was training like 1 day a week or whatever. And then when I bought this house over here, I was like, man, I need to find a gym. So then I Googled it, and I was like, DARKWOLF MMA. I'm like, those are the fucking guys that tall, lanky kid, you know, he was there. I'm gonna fucking go over there. And then Garrett was training there. Okay. Garrett's like, man, yeah, I know those guys, man. You gotta come. Because I know Garrett Nelson for years. And I was like, all right, cool, I'll go. And then I went one time, and I loved it, but I got caught up with work. And then I decided, I was like, man, I gotta hop into this fight shit again. Whether I win or lose, I'm just gonna hop in again. And then I met them, and the rest is history. You know, DARKWOLF MMA. You know, I met a lot of great people, and I really, you know, the jiu-jitsu there is amazing, bro. Like, it's fucking phenomenal, bro. And then Melissa, I don't know if they're gonna listen to this or not, but Melissa, she always makes a joke whenever Dave can't come in because of work. You know, life gets in the way. Quote.
Yeah, of course.
And she goes, okay, thanks for training with the substitute. And I'm like, nah, you ain't no substitute. You're an instructor. Yeah, like, cause she's freaking awesome as well. You know, like her teaching methods is
absolutely
pretty, you know, it's like her top pressures, and like she's just little things that she knows that works for her. And then like she shows it, and I'm like, fuck, that shit works for me too. And that's how I feel about David. Like, David, his jiu-jitsu is not super advanced, because I've trained with 10-time world champions before, and they were just not very good instructors. You know, I'm sorry, guys. You know who if you know me, you know who it is. And I was just like, man, I can't do that. I'm not a Baron Bolo guy. Like, that's not my style. My style is simple fundamentals, and then David is simple fundamentals with a little bit of Lohsen special. And you know what I mean. You got to come to DARKWOLF if you want to know what the Lohsen special is. And that's that, man.
Yeah, yes, sir. I learn something new every time I go there. It doesn't matter like whether it's David, Christian, or Melissa, you know, that I will learn something new from each of them every day.
Yeah, man. Christian, again, Christian's grappling is so funky. It's so weird. I remember one time I was grappling with him, and he kind of went inverted, right? And then he kneed me in my solar plex.
Yeah, that would be something he would do.
And then it left me breathless. And I'm like, and I was like, man, what the fuck was that? You know, and he just funky style, man. You know, he's just very, very funky. I love it. I can't fight like him. I just can't.
No, there's not many. Whenever people say that they're going to emulate someone's style, like maybe Dominic Cruz or someone like that, or like Christian, that is their style. Very, very few people ever will be able to emulate it like he does.
Yeah,
you know?
He's just very different, and, you know, awkward. He's awkward, but it works for him, and it's funky, and I love it. I fucking love his takedowns. His takedowns, and then he transitions to like the banana split and all that stuff. Is like, bro, that shit is dope as hell, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I love it because he mixes what Dave taught him and what Dave saw, right? What Dave learned, and then he mixes his wrestling, which I think is awesome wrestling, man. It's like, it's funky, and then his jiu-jitsu, and it's like the Lohsen jiu-jitsu. That's how Christian Lohsen's jiu-jitsu.
We all blend it together.
Yeah, created. Man. It was created, you know, and I love it, man. It's so different. It's so different. I can't emulate it, but it's cool. It's cool to watch. Not when it's done on me, but it's cool to watch him roll with other people. Like, yo, this guy is nuts, man.
Absolutely.
So what's up now, man? You graduated. You're a champ. Combat Night. You know what's in the road for you, man? What's going on?
Well, I would say I'm in kind of a crossroads. I feel like everyone goes through a few of these in their life, you know?
Yeah.
Finally took care of something that took me years and years to do, way longer than it should for a 4-year degree. But hey,
you did it.
Yes, I did
it. You did it.
I did it.
And congratulations, brother.
Thank you,
You
man.
did it.
I appreciate you, bro. It's you know, I want to obviously keep fighting, and I'm looking to get back in there really, really soon. So, you know, stay posted for on my social media, Jacob Toledo, and then Toledo Torpedo on Instagram. And you'll be able to keep up with whatever it is that I'm going to be doing. So I might have a little bit of a surprise for this next one coming up. So stay tuned, because I'm looking forward to it.
And I commentate, and I get nervous when my friends fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really do.
Yeah.
And I was telling David, I'm like, man, like I kind of don't want to commentate when my friends are fighting. He's like, no, you just gotta do it because people are gonna talk no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, fuck, okay, he's right. And then like the producers of Combat Night, they're like, hey man, I know that's your boy, but you're gonna call it down the middle. I'm like, man, I'm gonna try my very fucking best, man.
Yes. Wow.
So like I try, and I found myself like I don't know, maybe a lot of I know that when I accepted this position of commentating, it wasn't gonna appease a lot of people, and honestly, I don't give a fuck. I try to be as honest as I am, like right now. I try to be as honest as possible with my commentating. I'm not the greatest at anything. I'm not the best at anything. I'm not the best in jiu-jitsu, striking, boxing, whatever. I just love the fight game so much that I watch it and I analyze it and I try to project it to the people that don't know shit about this thing. So yeah, when you were fighting, I was like very nervous, and I think I found myself like being too critical of you, and I apologize for that, brother. You know what I'm saying? But
I thought you did a pretty good job on me.
Thank you, man. I just try to be very honest, and that's it. But man, congratulations. You want to give any special thanks to the people out there, the people closest to you?
Oh yeah, there's just so many people to thank. That's why like when I walked out, I said literally too many people to thank.
Yeah.
It's like, well, obviously all my coaches, the Lohsens, Dave and Christian, Melissa. Without them, none of this would be possible for me. My coaches, Pete White and John Radford, they've helped me a lot, helped me think of my striking in different ways, and I feel like I'm advancing, and I just love it. I love everything about MMA. Like, I love the striking. I love the grappling. I don't want people to just think I'm going to try and wrestle them and hold them down the whole time. I want to hit you too.
Yeah.
So I just love it, man. My family, my mom, my dad, obviously, all those people who support me, even the people who doubt me, like that motivates me too. All my teammates who help me, big ones, the small ones, they all are very important. And it's good to have people in your life who you feel truly care about you.
Absolutely. 100%. Jacob, the Torpedo Toledo. Who gave you that name real quick? Torpedo. What?
Oh,
how did that come about?
Am I going to tell this? I guess it may as well be known. My very last match ever, my senior year of high school, it was in the state placing matches, right? So it was my very last match ever in high school.
Okay.
And I'd been wrestling really good the whole tournament. And that last match with like 10 seconds left, I was up by a point, actually. I took a diving double leg shot. Like it looked like a literal torpedo is what my friends, my teammates said. So it was like kind of a running joke because he just spun behind me, got the 2 points with 10 seconds left, won by a point. So
wow.
Yeah, so it's actually a negative experience in my life that I was just like, you know what? It's kind of hilarious. Whenever I watch it, it makes me laugh. So I'm going to use that and I'm going to put it together because it fits pretty well.
It does.
So.
That's awesome. I was wondering. I thought like David or Christian gave you that name.
Oh, no. That's a running
story.
joke.
I dig it, man. But yo, Jacob Toledo, thanks for spending 20 minutes talking to me. I appreciate you. I think you are a special fighter. You get better, in my opinion. You get better every time. Every time I see you out there, you get better, and you're very, very self-motivated. Mm-hmm. And I said, why is he striking with the striker, right? And maybe that ain't a lot of people didn't like that, but again, I don't give a fuck.
Me neither.
And I was saying that because I truly care, right? Because I wanted you to do what you do best, but you stuck it in there. You landed jab overhands. You landed a few, but it was enough to have him say, "Oh, okay, this kid got power." So I just want to tell you that for that everybody can listen. But yo, thank you very much, brother.
Thank you, Lou. I appreciate you, bro.
Good night, y'all. Peace.